Let's talk today about something that a lot of people aren't discussing right now. Everybody thinks 2024 Trump's going to win. He's going to roll right into the presidency and everything's going to go back to normal. We're going to make America great again, and within a couple days of him being elected president, everything's going to be like pre-pandemic times. Something nobody's really discussing is what happens if he loses again. Y'all remember how it went last time? A lot of us went to bed and he was way ahead in the polls. Woke up the next morning and was like, what happened here? Y'all remember what I'm talking about. Overnight this miraculous comeback occurred and Biden won. Now, what followed that? January 6th, that followed it. What will happen this time if a similar situation happens? I don't know. I've asked strangers that I've spoke to in town that I've talked with, I've asked them what they thought would happen, and I get the same response. It's not going to happen. He's going to win this time. There's no way he loses this time, because everybody sees how bad Biden's polls are, how bad the country shape the country's in right now. And I said, but what happens if it does happen again? They're like, it's not going to happen. Never can happen. I'm here to tell you it can happen. What are the odds of it happening again? You make your own odds on that. We're in a position right now in America where, things aren't that great. They want to tell us everything's great. Inflation's come down and everything's getting back to normal. And we all know it's not. You go to the grocery store, you go to any store, you can see the true inflation numbers are 30 to 50%, right, of what they were. I mean, it's gotten ridiculously, and one of the reasons for that is during the pandemic, prices went up because they wasn't able to get store stock. Stuff was sitting out on ships. People wasn't allowed to work, and things just didn't get moved around like they normally do. But what happened during that? They realized, hey, people will pay a higher price for our goods. And now the higher prices are here to stay. You would think once everything calmed down and everybody went back to work and they started unloading shipping containers and boats and everything, that the prices would come back down because the market would be flooded, right? It didn't happen. We're at that high set right now, and we're going to keep going up from there. It's not ever going to go back to the way it was. The prices are never going to drop back to the way they were, because they know people will pay those prices now, whether you want to admit it or not. It's that simple. They know what people are willing to pay, and they'll keep it at that price. Now, to get back on the Trump losing the election, what do you think is going to happen if he loses again? If it's another situation like in 2020, it's not going to be good. It's not. What? And could you imagine 4 more years of Biden in office? How bad the country will be then? I kind of wonder if before the election starts, the election season, next summer, next fall, are we fully involved over there in Ukraine in the war? Is things rapid, went higher, got more severe over there? Are more severe things happening here in the United States? We keep hearing all this talk about how our power grids, is falling apart, or all this stuff's falling apart, but yet we're not really seeing it fall apart yet, right? Which it is in bad shape. I'm not saying that. But we hear every year, during the winter, power's going to be out. During the summer, power's going to be out. And it is out in certain locations. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not this huge, all of the United States is out of power, right? Now, could that happen as we get closer to election season? It could. It really could. The big thing is, though, everybody that thinks Trump's just going to walk right in, they don't even think in the back of their head what happens if he loses. What happens then? 4 more years of Biden, right? Or 4 more years of someone else, right? Guys, the reason DeSantis, I told y'all, starting in 2020, DeSantis was setting himself up to run for president during 2020, during the pandemic, by the way he was handling his state, right? And you could see it. Anybody that was paying attention could see this man's going to run for president in 2024. And he is. But I still think he was brought in to split the vote on the Republican Party, because if you split the vote, it makes it easier for the Democrats to get in, right? DeSantis is not doing real good in the polls. Trump is, and we all know Biden's polls are way down here and Trump's up here. But what happened in the last election, it was similar, and he still didn't win, right? Right? He didn't win. So, what do you think is going to happen if we go to bed on election night and he's winning? We wake up the next morning and Biden's won again. What do you think is going to happen? That's the point of this video. I want to know what you think is going to happen if Trump doesn't win, or if he's winning and we go to bed and we wake up, and he's lost again. You still going to have these states out here that take some weeks, maybe a month to count all the votes, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. You should be able to count them. We're going to have all kind of issues with this election. Everybody knows that. And is it going to be for the better or for the, who knows, right? But we'll have all type of issues with this election. Me and a gentleman was talking today about this same situation, and he was talking about the mail-in voting and all this and that. Now, I will tell you something I saw with my own eyes in 2020. My cousin, his dad had died like January or February of 2020. He was 80-something years old, almost close to 90. He died, but that summer, they mailed him the thing where he could vote from home, right? And my cousin looked at me and he said, I can just fill this out and send it in if I wanted to. And of course he threw it away. He didn't do that, but the point of it is that's how easy it was for us to do that. All these votes and stuff that sometimes just show up out of nowhere, right? So let me know what you think is going to happen if Trump doesn't win again. Or tell me what you think is going to happen if Trump wins. Do you think the country's going to be back to where it was immediately, or do you think it's going to take a couple years? Or do you agree with me that we're at the downfall of America? We're not going to go back up. We're down here at the bottom. We're going to ride here a little bit until it completely falls off, right? That's what I think is going to happen. There's too much going on for something major not to happen. That's just the way it is. Let me know your thoughts on this. Comment on this video. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed and you're not going to subscribe, hit the thumbs down on your way out the door. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times, because at that moment, you're the only person that can do it. Stay safe. Keep prepping. And comment on this. I want to know your thoughts.